Miss Honda, we don't consider it a burden, so please just accept.
You're the ones who let a girl into this house! Why is she even here?
Figured it was the only way I'd be able to get you to stop.
Hello, Yuki. How have you been, my brother?
And I wonder if maybe I'm the most cursed of us.
Leave before you regret ever associating with the Solas.
I'll trust this total person for the time being.
An incomparable friendship. That's right. I know I'll never regret meeting Soma and Kyo and Shigure. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be who I am now. Shigure, will you tell me about the curse?
Hello, my friends, and welcome to Speaking with the Speaker. Glad to see everybody here tonight. Looks like we've got Dega and Lady Mist in the chat. Welcome to both of you for being here. Thank you for being here. Looks like there's more in there, but only you guys are the ones talking. So that's all right. We'll just we'll get going here. So as you may have guessed from the intro, we are talking Fruits Basket tonight for our anime discussion tonight. Also, at the beginning of this, I wanted to kind of throw something out. I'm thinking of changing the name of this Sunday night stream because it's really more animation and animated content. I kind of want to represent that in the actual discussions and stuff that I'm having on my channel, at least for the anime streams, and then we'll name the other Speaking with Speaker will be for other things. So if you guys have any ideas based on kind of what you see me do on these streams and stuff, I was kind of thinking anime life, but that just doesn't seem to capture it somehow. I was like, spotlight on anime, something along that line. In fact, I was even thinking of doing a contest for whoever could come up with the best name. I would send them a Baby Yoda. I have many of these Baby Yodas, and I was kind of thinking that I might I might do something like that, depending on how many people are interested. But it would seem like Speaking with the Speaker is more in general about me and not really as much about what I'm talking about. So, anyway, I wanted to, I've had a request to see my whole t-shirt. It's two guys in a fire, and it says, "It's all fun and games until someone loses their wiener." One of my friends' wives got this for me when we went camping with them all the time. I love this. So, but there you go, Aspen. I think that's how you say that name. But no, it's I really like this anime. Now, this is a very different anime than a lot of the ones that I normally watch. This is very much more of a slice of life type of anime. Hail Curtis, YZ, and Chris Persia. Thanks for popping in. But this one really is, I mean, slice of life really does describe this anime best. Most of the time, I mean, it's not an axe to the forehead, like Demon Slayer. It's not better than DC and Marvel, like, My Hero Academia. It's kind of a bit of everything, quite honestly. Hail Brightest Day. Thanks for popping in. This is kind of an all-around, kind of for everybody anime. This is something that, like, girls really like it. My girls especially particularly like this one. And this has 3 seasons. They just came out with the 3rd season, and its final season. This is very much an anime that started with a beginning and an end. which is really nice considering a lot of times with anime, you don't always get the end. It'll continue on in manga form and stuff like that, but sometimes you don't get that happy. So you say happy ending anymore, and it has such a sexual connotation. It's just almost like you can't even say that anymore. But you don't get a happy ending sometimes with animes because they just either they run out of money or they decide to go in a different direction, and so they shut down the production and they go do something else, and or they never bring it in English to the States. So you get a lot of that where an anime just kind of dead ends. There's no conclusion. There's no real happy ending. or even a sad ending. I mean, it just kind of just stops, which is really frustrating for me in a lot of regards, because I'll just really get into an anime and be like, all right, now what? Why did it stop? Why is that gone now? So that can be a little frustrating with some of these. But this one, my wife doesn't like anime, but I think if she actually gave this one a chance, and personally, I think it's just one of those mental blocks, those things where it's just like, I don't want to like this, and I'm not going to like this no matter what. When it comes to anime, she just really has a mental block about it. But this one has such an all-around story. There's a little bit of magic and stuff involved in it, but that's really, I mean, it's central to the story, but it's not all about that. So to give you a basic overview of what's happening in this anime, and I'll try and keep it as spoilerish free as I can while still trying to talk about this anime. If you have not seen this anime, even after what I talk about, go watch it, and you'll either love it or you won't. But I think if you like drama, if you like human interest, if you like seeing how people overcome challenges, because there's a lot of that in this anime. This anime really does cover the gambit of human emotions, human situations. You get to see what it's like for kids who are struggling against the ideas and the desires of their parents. Which is very interesting, because a lot of kids don't necessarily want to go the way their parents want them to go. They want to do something different. And so, you get that kind of a feel, in this one, where it's just like you're getting to see a lot of personal interconnections between different groups of people and different individuals. And this is very much an ensemble cast anime, whereas where a lot of animes kind of tend to focus on a few people, this one really covers quite a large group of people and does a pretty good job of covering everybody inside that story. And this is Curtis YZ just said, it's like me in the MCU type movies. I just don't want to like them. Yeah, I think that's it, Curtis. She just has a block. She just can't she won't like it for some reason. Yet she loves Disney films, and but she just if she hears the word anime, and you can just kind of watch her eyes glaze over and she drifts off, or just runs from the room. One of those two responses is usually what I can expect. But which is sad, because like I said, with this anime, it really has something for everybody. Because there's a lot of a coming of age story about this, of kids growing up, those high school years of overcoming, and the angst of being young and trying to figure out what are you going to do with your life. And you've got parents that are trying to push you in one way or the other. And this has the added twist of it's really about a family called the Somas, and they are cursed. Certain members of this family are born as spirits of the zodiac. So each one of these members of the family, one is the horse, one is the snake, one is it's the seahorse, which is the Aquarius. So it's based very much off of the zodiac. calendar and stuff like that. And each one of these human beings has a zodiac animal that's inside of them. Pardon me. And if anybody of the opposite sex hugs them, they change into their animal. Which, if you were here for the intro, you got to see one of the characters whose name's Ko. He gets hugged by one of the other main characters, Toru, and poof, changes into a cat. And that's kind of the running story, is that there's 12 zodiac animals, and yet there's 13 of them, because there was supposed to be the cat was supposed to be one of the zodiac animals, but wasn't, and that's part of the myth and the legend. And the cat is treated like an outcast animal, and it goes into the wise in the house, and he's treated very poorly. His mother commits suicide. There's some really dark themes that this anime covers, and yet for the most part it's very lighthearted. And where a lot of animes can, there's no big robots and Gundam, things. There's none of that, but it's just a heavy emotional thing. You're really on a roller coaster ride from the beginning to the end of this particular anime, and I really liked that. I like stories that are in depth. I like stories that really describe and talk about the human condition, and it's fun to remember what it is to be young and to have to deal with those changes, because as you get older, you tend to forget what it is to be young, and you lose that feel, and this helps you remember it. Helps you remember what it was like to be graduating from high school and not know what you were going to do with yourself, or you thought you knew what you were going to do with yourself, but in the end, like I'm 47 years old. I am nowhere near where I thought I would be. If you'd have told me when I graduated from high school, hey Brian, you're going to be a truck driver, I'd have been like, no, not, no way. And here I am, a truck driver. So life does not always go the way you plan it. And that's what's kind of the interesting part of this story. And there's just enough magic and intrigue that it really drives this story forward. So I wanted to talk to you guys and introduce you to mainly some of the characters that we deal with in this. So we've got Toru Honda. She's the main female character. And then we, as the leader of the Soma family, is Akito. And then we have Ko Soma, which is the cat spirit. We have Yuki Soma, who's the rat. We have Kagura Soma, that plays the boar. Then we have Aristu Uritani, who plays one of Toru's friends, and she's hilarious. She's like a gang chick who had a change of heart because of Toru coming into her life. Toru is a very mild-mannered, sweet, overly polite, just kind of a funny little character that you just like, you wish you could know her in real life. She's kind of airheaded and a little bit clumsy and stuff, but I mean, just sweet. I mean, just almost too sweet. Then we got Kisa Soma, who is the tiger. And then we've got Koro Honda, which is Toru's mother, who was killed in an accident. So Toru has like no family except her like grandfather and extended family. Her parents are both dead. We have Shiguri Soma. He plays the dog. We got Haratsu Soma, who plays the bull, or the ox, I guess. Then we have Saki Hamajima, and she's also one of Toru's friends, and she's hilarious. She has powers of like mental powers. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. She hears voices, basically the thoughts of others, and she can kind of affect others and stuff, but it's in a really kind of a normal way, not like magic and stuff. We have Hattori Soma, and he is the seahorse, or Aquarius. And then we have Ayama Soma, and he's the snake. He is freaking hilarious, and he is voiced by one of my favorite voice actors for Funimation. He is hilarious. He comes off as very effeminate and stuff like that, but he's just a funny character, and he is the brother of I just lost his name, of Yuki Soma, and he hates his brother. Yuki hates Ayame. I can't stand him. And then we have Isuzu Soma. She is the horse. Majormi Soma, and he is the rabbit. And I'm trying to see if we're missing anybody else. Those are the main character. Ritsu Soma, and he is. Oh, I just lost the animal that he is. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, he's one of the animals. And then we have Hiro Soma, who plays the lamb. So that basically they're all members. And then there's a bunch of side characters that we deal with. And so, sorry, I was on a different page, and now I missed some. Soba Soma, the noodle pigs. They do talk about soba a lot in this anime, like soba noodles and stuff like that. They're always kind of funny. They're talking about the different stuff, but I mean it's really kind of a unique story, and that's one of the things I tell you guys this all the time, that I love about anime is that they've taken something as kind of boring and straightforward as the Zodiac and have created this kind of a mystical story of a family that's involved, that's basically cursed to have these animals, and like all of them kind of want out of it because they're kind of tied to this to the main character, which is Akito Soma, and she is basically the god that was at the center of the Zodiac. And they just keep being reborn in different cycles. Like the animals pass from generation to generation to generation as this family has gone down through the centuries. And it's just, this Akito is just this horrible character. She's this he's this entitled, snarky, snobby, just entitled is really and you just want to slap him through this whole anime. You just one of those characters you just love to hate. And yet none of these characters are quite what they seem. They're all very unique. But because Toru has lost her family, has lost her mother, when the story starts, she is living in a tent. She went to live with her grandfather, and this gives you a weird insight into Japanese culture where they don't like it seems like parents and children don't always have the connection that you think that they would. An extended family isn't, and I don't know how much of this is real and how much of this is just an anime trope. But it's very unique in the fact that they kind of kick family members out that have nowhere to go, and they're just like, well, so the grandfather is actually, it's not her mother's father, it's her dad's dad, and her dad has been gone for a long time, and he's a sweet old guy, but like he goes to live with one of his daughters while they renovate the house. Well, he doesn't want to pull Toru out of school and stuff like that. He's like, can you stay with somebody while this is going on? Because then after the renovations are done, the daughter and stuff are coming to live with the grandfather. So Toru basically's like, yeah, I'll take care of it, and goes to live in a tent out in the wilderness while she's going to school, and she works to put herself through school and live, working part-time and just trying to make things work. And she's just so sweet. She doesn't want to put anybody out. She's just very independent. And anyway, that's how you get, and that's how you meet the Soma family. You meet Yuki and oh, I just lost his name. One of the other characters, and he's really funny. He plays a writer and stuff, but he's just like he's the dog character, Shiguri, Soma, and they come across her out in the woods, and Shiguri just busts out laughing at Toru living in this tent. And anyway, she kind of passes out. She's sick. She's kind of run herself down, and they take her back to the house that they live in. And it just kind of goes from there. She ends up living with them, because a landslide ends up covering her tent. She ends up figuring out that they're part of these that they turn into animals through an accident. Ko, who has this really crazy rivalry with Yuki, are always fighting each other, and it's really funny. The guy that does the voice of Ko is really funny and really over the top, and so they have this hatred and rivalry. They're always punching each other and fighting each other and yelling at each other and stuff. Well, he comes crashing through the roof and to try and beat up Yuki, and she slips on a piece of wood and accidentally hugs him, and he turns into the cat. And then she's like so kind of astonished at what's happened. She's like, she picks him up, is like, I don't know what just happened. He turned into a cat. And she kind of almost passes out, falls over, and leads into Yuki and Shiguri. And they both change into their animals, the rat and the dog. And then this delivery guy comes to the door, and she comes running down with all these animals. They're animals, and I don't know what to do. And they try and cover it up. And anyway, so she gets kind of folded into this secret that nobody knows, that the Soma family works so hard to keep from getting out. And they're a very rich, very wealthy family. Most of them live in like a huge family compound. And one by one, she starts to meet all of the Zodiac animals. Now, normally, anybody who found out their secret would be hypnotized and not allowed to know this secret. But for some reason, Akito, the head of the family, decides to let her know and says that she can live there with them. And it's basically just part of Akito's plan. She's kind of a conniver, and he or she is a kind of a conniver and a manipulator. And so she's thinking she can use Toru to kind of get Yuki and Shiguri to come back and live within the compound instead of out at the away from everybody else, because she wants to control the family. And anyway, it really just, it goes on, and there's a lot of family intrigue and fighting back and forth. And you've got members of the family who are trying to break away. You get more into the in-depths into the lives of each one of these characters, one by one by one. There's one little boy who likes to wear girls' clothes. In fact, there's several characters in this that likes to wear girl clothes, and yet that's not like made a big deal. And they grow out of it. They kind of overcome it and end up growing out of this phase. And the character, one of the characters, who's the snake, who's the funny guy, who just is overbearing, over the top and stuff like that. He, you think he's gay through this whole thing. And at the end of it, like, no, he's not. He's just has that personality. He's just kind of a flamboyant, crazy guy. But come to the end, towards the end, you find out that no, he's not at all. And there's a lot of really great ideas that are discussed in this, that and you have to go pretty much all the way through the anime before you're like, whoa, holy cow. And it just, you keep kind of getting broadsided by these revelations of this family and how this curse has kind of twisted them up over time. And I don't want to give away some of the biggest turns, but like you will be taken back as things come to light. And And as each one of these character grows and progresses, and that was really cool to watch. Is there is like the character arcs in this. Every single person in this anime seems to have a very defined, unique character arc, where they start at one point and they grow to become something different, or they overcome obstacles, or and it's just it's so well done that you can relate to almost every aspect of this. You've either known somebody, you've met somebody, you've read stories about somebody who have dealt with these things in their lives, and they kind of run the gambit in this anime, which is one of the reasons I like it so much. I would not watch this anime for a very long time because I just thought Fruits Basket, that doesn't even sound like something I'd be interested in. But that's what's cool about anime. Sometimes you have to go, all right, I'm not going to look at the title and just start watching something. Because if you look at the titles, sometimes they're very misleading because of the way they translate to English. So you're going to end up missing out on some really great animes if all you ever do is look at titles and go, no, that doesn't sound interesting to me. And this was one of those for me where I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna do it, and I hit it and started, and it just pulled me in. Like I said, but if you're into blood and guts, gore, action scenes, 24/7, blah blah blah, yeah, you're not gonna like this anime because this is really more about the human condition and stuff, and it's great for doing that. It really is something that's just fantastic. The vocal work in this is really good. The animation style is terrific. Some of the visuals are everything is just kind of pretty. And I liked how they actually did two versions of this anime. There's an older one that was, I believe, done in 2001. And then they redid it in 2019. I tried to go back and start watching the old Fruits Basket, which has almost an identical storyline, but I just didn't like. I couldn't get past the older animation style, and the vocal work wasn't quite as good. I'd say Nick is giving me crap. Not interested in Fruits Basket? Heck, man, you like nude gardening and anime. Fruits should be easy. I know, right? All right. But, we all have those things. Hey, when I started watching, okay, I got to tell everybody the story now. So Adega is referring to the anime Food Wars, where one of the characters, I can't remember, I think Adega and I were talking about this, and we were suggesting animes back and forth, and I brought that one up. That was one that I'd liked, and he was just like, oh, I think he had his son watching it, and he walked in, and his son, and if I'm wrong on this, Adega, you might have to correct me, but I just remembered that like your son was watching it or something, and you're like, why is this guy's butt hanging out? Because when he gardens, he wears just like a loincloth. Like a Japanese typical loincloth and it's got the strap up the back and a little paper towel. I mean, it looks like he's wearing a paper towel. and I just laugh every time because this character has this crazy habit of like being naked throughout the whole. You never see anything other than his butt. But anyway, so I mean, yeah. and I told him, like, I love that anime. It's so funny. Food Wars is fantastic. I do want to cover that one here before too long because it is really funny. I mean, just hilariously funny. And another one that I was just like, Food Wars, because I hate cooking shows. Like I hate all those like what do they call them? The it's supposed to be real life, but it's not real life, and everybody loves these like Survivor. I hate TV shows like that. It's like, oh, it's reality TV. There we go. Sorry, I've been up since 1 o'clock this morning, driving home from Nebraska, so I'm a little sleepy. But so yeah, apparently I did get the story right. But yeah, it is just it's funny. So I mean. Anime, I runs the gambit. I like a lot. I'm very eclectic in my tastes. I like a bit of everything. I really do. and I like some animes that I really shouldn't because of some of the content that's in them, and but it's like a guilty pleasure. I don't know. Anyway, but I would, if you have not seen this anime, I would say go out there and check it out. Give it a couple episodes, and if you like good story writing or good storytelling and something that's well written and well voiced, you really should like this. But it might take a couple episodes to pull you in, because like I say, the story is very intricate. And so like the more you get into it, the greater the detail becomes. And the more you're going to kind of get sucked into these characters' lives. Because some of these characters just have tragic backstories. You're just like, I don't know how you get out of bed in the morning. And it's just kind of all a side effect of this curse. You'd think that these people they're a very wealthy family, so they should have kind of everything they want. But what they want more than anything is freedom. And freedom is kind of one of the things that they don't have because of this curse, or at least the members of the family who are cursed with the zodiac animals and stuff. Yet at the same time, I'm sitting there going, I'd love to be able to transform into an animal. So it's like, of course, transforming into a rat or a seahorse, wouldn't be, or a cow, wouldn't be. And the guy that does the guy that plays the ox, he's very mild mannered, but like most cows, cows are very temperamental. I grew up around cows. We had cows when I was growing up, and they'll go from docile to I'm going to kill you like that fast. Just and his character is kind of like that, and but he's really kind of a funny character. I mean, and that's what I do like about this. Each one of the characters has these quirks. Like I said, you will identify with so many of these characters. You'll either know somebody or you've seen somebody. You're just like, oh, I know a guy just like that. There's a kid in this that he's just a snotty. His name's Hero, and he plays the lamb, I think it is, if I remember right. He's just this snot-nosed, obnoxious, mouthy kid that, just no matter what you say, has always got a comeback for it. And it's just knows how to push your butt, And then if he gets you mad enough to hit him, he's like, "Don't hit me, you'll get arrested for child abuse." And I'm just like, oh, so worth it. Anyway, so no, you will feel very connected to the different characters in this story, and you'll be able to identify very much with what's happening here. I could go on and tell you more and more and more about each one of these characters and tell you more about the story, but it's one of those things where I kind of hesitate because I don't want to ruin it for those of you who may have not seen it. But it's just, it really is kind of just an all around great story. This is one of those stories that's kind of like, it's just a warm blanket. It makes you feel good. At the end of it, you're going to feel like, you've made friends that like you're going to carry parts of this story with you and feel like you're better for having gone through this experience. And it'll make you question how you perceive people and some of the ways that you think about people and the first impressions you might get, only to find out that once you get to know that person, there's a lot more going on under the surface. And that's what a really great story does, is it makes you think. It makes you question your preconceived notions. And anime is really great for doing that. It opens up your eyes. It opens up your thought processes to a different possibility, to something that you just weren't expecting. And this one does do that very, very well. And like I said, I love the fact that it has a beginning and an end, and you kind of know what happened, and you get the whole story. So, I mean, this is going to be a little bit shorter show for this one, just because I don't want to give too much of it away, because this isn't as popular as a lot of animes. I don't hear people talk about this one quite as much, and so I don't want to spoil it for those of you who are like, oh, maybe I'll go check this out. But that's kind of what I want to do. That's what I'm doing with these shows is to help you guys get a feel for something you may have not seen yet. Like I said, and even if you've seen this, go watch it again. You can find this on Hulu. I believe you can get it on Crunchyroll. Trying to think if there's any other. So I watch it on Hulu. That's where I've been pulling it from. I kind of wish I would have watched the original first before I watched this version of it. Because now I can't go back and watch the old. I've tried to watch the old one and it's just like, nope, can't do it. Because the new one just does it better. And which is probably why they went back and redid it. Because it was a story that needed to be retold. It needed to be updated. And, and that tells you, I mean, how that somebody had some real interest in this to do this particular story twice, and not like a Hollywood, we're going to change it and make explosions and all this. No, they wanted to tell the story better than they pulled it off the first time around, which I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with people wanting to, it's just like, I wish I could go back and remake the Twilight movies because they were so bad. They just ruined those books. I mean, sometimes I still have a hard time reading the books now because like the movies were so terrible. They're stuck in my brain forever and I can't get them out. But yeah, it's just, it's one of those things where Hollywood just ruined it, like they do. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. I don't know if you guys have any questions about this particular anime, and I hope I've described it in a way that helps you guys understand where this story is coming and going. And like I say, I've only scratched the surface. With this one, I wanted to be very careful about not going too into depth and then like ruining it for you guys. But I think that would be hard to do with this one. Next week, we are going to be talking about, yeah, that figures. Oh, there it is. Assassination Classroom. Which is the one I've just recently got into and have watched it twice now. That's how good it is. Was another one that I was just like, I'm not so sure. But I'm going to have a special guest who will be helping me with that one. And another Idahoan, actually. So we will be talking about that next week. We'll be doing that again at the same time at 5 p.m. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time next Sunday. But just thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Curtis, Brightest Day, Lady Mist, Adega Outlaw. Who else was in here? Chris Persia. I think that's everybody who said something in the chat. If I missed you, I apologize. But I really do appreciate you guys coming and giving me the support. It is fun. It's fun to get to talk about I did not say I did. Oh, I kind of did. I kind of did say that, didn't I? That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, Lady Miss. I don't go watch anime. Okay, there was that one time in college. No, I don't mean anime porn. There's some anime that shows way more than they should, but because the story's so funny, I watch it anyway. and I shouldn't. Bad, Brian. Bad. Anyway, yes. No. Okay. Hey, I saw butts in Splash too before Disney changed that. There was butts in Splash in but I didn't say I watched porn. I didn't say that. I said I watched anime that has some okay. You guys aren't going to get me into a circular argument here. I know what you're doing. I am not going to be made to feel bad about myself. I already do that anyway. Anyway, we will go talk to you guys next week. Thanks for being here and have yourselves a great weekend. Bye now.
Miss Honda, we don't consider it a burden, so please just accept.
You're the ones who let a girl into this house! Why is she even here?
Zira! Weg ein Glück!
Figured it was the only way I'd be able to get you to stop.
Hello, Yuki. How have you been, my brother?
And I wonder if maybe I'm the most cursed of us.
Leave before you regret ever associating with the Solas.
I'll trust this total person for the time being.
And incomparable friendship. That's right. I know I'll never regret meeting Soma and Kyo and Shigure. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be who I am now. Shigure, will you tell me about the curse?